A massive rift is forming in Philadelphia, and it might cost the Eagles their entire season before it even begins. Our franchise quarterback is making public moves that signal a direct disagreement with the front office and the coaching staff. This isn't just about a post on social media, because it reveals a deep lack of trust in the team's leadership. If this relationship breaks down, the results on the field will be disastrous for our Super Bowl dreams. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because we are tracking this explosive situation every single day right here. Jalen Hurts has just sent a massive shockwave through the Philadelphia Eagles organization with a single social media post. He shared photos of himself working out during his own time with Scott Loeffler, who was his quarterback's coach last season. This might sound normal, but the team actually fired Loeffler this winter and replaced him with a new coach named Parks Frazier. By seeking out his old coach on his own time, this young quarterback is clearly telling the world that he did not want to change. This is the 5th time in 5 years that the team has changed his coach, and it seems like he is finally fed up with the lack of stability. He had previously told the media that he loved the wisdom and the structure that his former coach provided. He even said he hoped the team would keep him around for a long time. Instead, the team went in a different direction and hired a younger coach who has never actually coached quarterbacks in the professional leagues. This young leader is now showing the team that he still trusts the man they let go more than the plan they have in place. It is a very bold move for a franchise player to make. It shows that there is a disconnect between what the player needs and what the head coach is doing. This matters because the quarterback and the coach must be on the same page for the offense to work correctly. If they are not talking, or if they do not agree on the teaching methods, the entire team suffers on Sundays. The fans in Philadelphia are starting to notice that something is not right behind the scenes. This young quarterback is usually very quiet and professional, so making a public statement like this is a big deal. He wants everyone to know that he valued the stability he had last year. He is tired of learning a new system every single season. He is tired of having a new voice in his ear every time he goes back to work. This tension could create a very difficult environment during training camp. The team needs to listen to their star player if they want to win. If they ignore his preferences, they risk losing his trust entirely. This is a story about a leader who is trying to find the best way to win games while his bosses keep changing the rules on him. Nick Sirianni is the man who made the final call to change the coaching staff once again. He decided that Parks Frazier was the right person to take over because they have a long history together from their time in Indianapolis. This head coach believes that having a familiar face will help the transition to a new offensive style. He thinks that since this new coach understands the system being brought in by the new coordinator, it will make things easier for everyone. However, this young quarterback clearly feels differently about the situation. This star player is someone who values technique and fundamentals above everything else. He found a rhythm with his previous coach and felt that his game was reaching a new level of maturity. He liked the old-school wisdom and the structured way of thinking that was offered to him last year. He is the type of player who needs a steady hand and a consistent message to perform at his best. When you look at how he plays, you can see that his footwork and his decision-making were improving under that guidance. Now, he has to start over with someone who is younger and less experienced at this specific job. This head coach is banking on chemistry and a shared history, but he might be ignoring the technical needs of his most important player. This young quarterback is a worker who spends his own money and time to get better. If he feels that the team is not providing the right tools, he will go find them himself. That is exactly what we are seeing right now with these private workouts. It shows a player who is dedicated to his craft but perhaps a bit frustrated with the organizational choices. This head coach has to manage this relationship very carefully over the next few months. If the star player doesn't believe in the coaching, the plays won't work on the field. This young quarterback is the engine of the entire team. If he is unhappy or feels unsupported, the engine will stall. We have seen this happen before in the NFL where a star and a coach stop seeing eye to eye. It almost always ends poorly for the team. This young leader is trying to protect his career and his growth while the head coach is trying to build a specific staff. These two goals should be the same, but right now, they look very different. This situation could help them win more games, or it could lead to a total collapse. If the quarterback is not comfortable with his coach, he will hesitate during the biggest moments of the game. When a player hesitates, he makes mistakes, and mistakes lead to losses. We are talking about the most important relationship on the football field. The man who throws the ball and the man who teaches him how to throw it must be perfectly aligned. If they are not, the offense will look messy and confused. This could lead to more interceptions and fewer touchdowns. It also puts a lot of pressure on the head coach to prove that his choice was the right one. If the offense struggles early in the season, everyone will point to this decision as the reason why. The fans will be angry because they saw the star player asking for something else. This creates a risk of failure that the team simply cannot afford right now. They are supposed to be competing for a championship, but instead, they are dealing with internal drama. Simple outcomes are what matter most here. Does this help the team score points? Does it make the quarterback feel confident? Right now, the answer seems to be no. If the player is going outside the building to get the coaching he wants, it means he isn't getting it inside the building. That is a massive red flag for any professional team. It suggests that the communication has broken down at the highest level. We want to see this team dominate the league, but they are creating their own obstacles. Winning games is hard enough when everyone is working together. It becomes nearly impossible when the star player and the leadership are pulling in different directions. The consequence of this could be a season that falls apart before it even really begins. We have seen talented teams fail because of smaller issues than this. The risk is real, and it is growing every day that this continues. The team needs to find a way to make their star feel supported and heard. If they don't, the fans in Philadelphia are going to have a very long and frustrating year watching their team struggle to move the ball. It all comes down to trust, and right now that trust is clearly broken. Let's look at the best-case scenario for the Philadelphia Eagles. If this new coach is actually a genius, he will find a way to connect with the quarterback quickly. They will find a middle ground and the offense will be more explosive than ever before. The star player will realize that the change was good for him and the team will cruise to the playoffs. But if it fails, the results will be devastating. Imagine a season where the quarterback loses faith in the play calls. Imagine he starts playing for himself instead of following the system. The worst-case scenario is a complete locker room divide. If the players see their leader is unhappy, they might stop believing in the head coach too. This could lead to a losing streak that ends with people losing their jobs. The tension is building because we don't know which path they are on yet. One side wants stability and the other side wants a new approach. These two ideas are crashing into each other right now. If this works, everyone will call the head coach a visionary. But if it fails, he will be seen as the man who ruined a great opportunity. Short sentences increase the tension because every moment counts. The season is close. The pressure is high. The star is unhappy. The coach is stubborn. This is a recipe for a disaster or a miracle. We are watching a high-stakes game of poker inside the team headquarters. The quarterback has already shown his hand by posting those photos. He has made his move. Now we have to see how the organization responds to it. Will they try to fix the relationship or will they double down on their own plan? The answer will define the next 3 years of Eagles football. Every practice and every meeting will be under a microscope. There is no room for error when your franchise player is sending public messages like this. The emotional weight of this situation is heavy for every fan who wants to see another parade. We are all waiting to see if they can find a way to work together. If they can't, the fall will be very fast and very painful for everyone involved in Philadelphia. The situation in Philadelphia is a clear example of a team at a crossroads. Jalen Hurts is sending a very public message that he misses the stability he had with his former coach. By training with him in the offseason, he is showing that he doesn't fully agree with the team's decision to let that coach go. This creates a massive dilemma for Nick Sirianni and the entire organization. Do they ignore their star player's feelings, or do they find a way to give him the support he is clearly asking for? Be honest with me right now. Would you trust a coaching staff that keeps changing the rules on you every single year? It is hard to build something great when the foundation keeps moving. This young leader wants to win, and he thinks the team made a mistake. As an insider, I can tell you that these public gestures are never just a coincidence. They are carefully planned messages. We need to stay on top of this as it develops. If you love the Eagles and want the real story, you need to be part of this community. Hit that like button if you think the team should have kept the old coach. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on this developing drama. Turn on those notifications because things are moving fast in Philly. What do you think about this move by our quarterback? Is he right to show his frustration, or should he just follow the team's plan? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them, because your voice matters to this team. Let's keep the conversation going, and hope our birds can figure this out before week 1 arrives.